Yes, Deepam Sir, welcome to the office. And
Thank,
it's a great pleasure today to host you into my office. And though it would have been a better pleasure if we would have hosted you at home, but nevertheless, जो जैसा होता है वो अच्छे के लिए होता है. So welcome to the office. And today I am in the Fox colors. You can see that I am wearing a red and something related to yellow. And आपको आज Fox के first day cover और आपको एक फॉक्स का फ्रिज मैग्नेट ये देके बहुत खुशी हुई और पहली बार आपसे मुलाकात हुई. सो इट हैज़ बिन ग्रेट फन. दीज आर some special memorabilia of Fox which are now not left in large numbers, but
what we'll do is we'll keep it
lucky.
like this.
Yes. और इसके अंदर जो है फॉक्स की वी हैव द एंटायर स्टोरी ऑफ फॉक्स. दो फैक्चुअली उसके अंदर एक there's a minor error in that because when we picked up the story, we kind of could not identify who was the first squadron commander of Fox. But nevertheless, the entire story, which is published over there, was written by your course mate's father, who was also 15th Foxtrot. So Colonel
Okay.
Balbir Gosai
Okay.
was the one
Vikas
who
is
wrote,
that.
Vikas Gosai's father, who created the first draft of, this first day cover. And we are a very unique squadron, as you know, that we are the only ones who have got this first day cover.
Yes.
और इसको क्रिएट करने में a large part of it, the design which you see is the creation of a 63rd course Fox, and my memory of my name is very name memory is very bad. Let me just take out the name, and I know that sir will feel very very bad about it कि मैं नाम भूल गया. That is one second.
ये एडिट कर देना बीच
No,
में से
no, don't worry.
बीच
No,
में
no,
से
no. Let it be. हाँ, तो ब्रिगेडियर संदीप रावत.
Oh,
Fox 63.
wow.
So, sir, pardon and apologies. Sir was posted at that time in the ENC's branch when
Okay.
he created the draft design of this first day cover. And another person who was very, very instrumental in helping us, get this Fox first day cover was Major General Narpat Singh Rajpurohit.
Oh,
He's
wow.
66 Foxtrot. Now, sir is a very, very famous horse rider,
Yes.
and he's a man with great accomplishments. He was a brigadier at that time in the army headquarters, and he and I literally ran to get this first day cover going. And in those days, the engineer in chief was Lieutenant General Vijay Sharma, who was
Okay.
45th Foxtrot, but in his sixth term, he shifted to golf as the SCC because probably golf squadron did not find anyone, and maybe there was some challenge. I think some problems. I don't remember the issue of very clearly, but General Vijay Sharma then took over as the SCC of golf squadron, and he was the ENC who actually gave us that real guidance as to how to get this thing going. The Vice Chief of Army Staff was Lieutenant General S.K. Singh, 41st Foxtrot, and Vijay Sir was 45th Foxtrot. Then General S.K. Singh, countersigned on the file. And when we took this file to the ADIG, I think, what do we call it? ADIG's, I think, ceremonials or whatever. So he was not very keen to sign this file. He said, you have got it signed from the vice chief, or you have got it signed from the ENC, but I am not convinced. And he was also an ex-NDA officer, but he said, I am not convinced. And then we said that, what more than do you want? I mean, at some stage, some squadron will look for, this kind of a first day cover. So let the Foxtrot be the one. So he said, but why should Foxtrot be the one? Who's your colonel commandant? So we said, our colonel, I mean, offhand, that answer slipped out of my mouth, and Rajpurohit sir was sitting just next to me, and we said, sir, colonel commandant is commandant NDA. So he said, okay, get a ink signed letter from commandant NDA and I will approve it. And I'm telling you, 5 days down the line, I'm pushing off on 35 days of leave.
Okay.
So now we had some 5 days of action hand. We came out of his office, then we said, kya kare? So then we called up Wing Commander Unni Kartha,
Oh.
Fox 37, also known as King Fox. And we said, Uni sir, there is a commandant in the NDA whom we believe is from the helicopter stream, and if do you know him? He said, I know him very well. He said, I was the one who taught him how to fly helicopters. So we said, sir, we need something like this. So he said, okay, send me your address quickly, and I will do the needful. And on the third or the fourth day, I get a courier in my house, and I ran with that courier to Narpat Singh Rajpurohit's place and said, sir, ये letter आ गई. And उस letter के ऊपर there was a yellow slip. Letter was there the way we had asked. It was there, and on that yellow slip it was written, respected Unni sir, this is the fastest that a helicopter can fly from Pune to Delhi.
Wow.
The fourth day we had 2 ink signed copies from the commandant, and then we ran
Okay.
and went to the ADIG, and then we said कि sir ये अब आ गया, अब आपने बोला था देखो चिट्ठी आ गई है. And then he relented. He said, यार तुम लोगों ने बहुत मेहनत कर रहे हो.
क्या बात
Okay,
है.
take
What-
this. So
what
this
a
is how
story.
this this
Yeah.
first day cover came into being. But actually the man who pushed us, right, who conceptualized this idea, who really pushed us hard, and who kind of put us on that path, and बीच में एक आधी बार we got deterred because it was not very easy, difficult लग रहा था. So the man who actually put us on that path was Brigadier P.K. Gulati, Fox
Oh, sir,
24th
yes.
to 25th, a very very proud paratrooper,
Yes, yes.
ASC officer, and उनके कुछ standard words हैं ABCD. So I think that we will leave it to Gulati sir, and one of these days when we do an interview with him, I think it will
Yeah.
come out. He was the one who did not let the aim go away. He kept on guiding us. ये चाहिए, ये होना चाहिए, ये ऐसी चीज है which can be achieved, and only we can do it. And I think Foxies will have always live. And these are very rare pieces now.
Absolutely, yes.
I think I'm still left with about 250 odd of them, but
Wow.
gradually they are moving, and we had got about 3,500 of them printed at that time. So
Yeah,
out
actually,
of
if you count, then Foxtrot has so far probably had about 3,700 cadets.
yeah
My guess is that
yeah it would
approximately.
be.
So one per head, but too many of them haven't got it, I guess.
So the idea was that in those days many people said कि यार अभी कौन लिखता है, कहाँ पे इसको use करेंगे. So when we were like taking this idea ahead, and when we spoke to all those senior foxes whom we were trying to get for that ceremony which we did on 13th of December 2013 at the engineers mess, and it was hosted by Commander Prasad Pade, Fox 7273, and Mrs. Gauri Bhola, wife of
Yes,
Major
yes.
General Jalaj Bhola, Fox 66, and daughter of Brigadier B.K.
Gauri is my
Bhardwaj.
classmate. by the way.
Yeah. So her father is Foxtrot 10.
Yes, yes.
So, then we told all the senior foxies that use this first day cover to write your own story and send it to your own grandchildren or children, that this is what you were, and this is how you have crafted a life, and this is why you are proud of your legacy of the National Defense Academy. And then in that you imbibe your your entire fox spirit. And we said use these covers, and that is how these covers actually went away. People bought 50, 60, 75 covers. There was a gentleman who bought 150. We said, sir, आप शादी में जाते हो ना, इसमें शगन डाल के दे दो.
क्या बात है.
It would be such a unique thing. And this was, and I remember we lost one Fox 15th course, Major General Sabarwal, M.R. Sabarwal.
Yes.
His son is my coursemate. He's 81st Hunter, Air Commodore Sabarwal now. He's an accomplished fighter pilot. So firstly he said कि यार ये बड़ी गलती हो गई, वो लड़के ने Fox क्यों नहीं ज्वाइन किया. And then when I told him कि सर आप इसमें अपनी लाइफ की कहानी लिखो, तो he wrote I think a 10-page story. And when he passed away, his granddaughter called me up, and she said the story which I read of my grandfather was very very unique, and the envelope which he used, I will never let it go away. So that is the
It's fantastic. We have this because having been part of the same squadron,
yeah,
so many stories that keep coming up to all of us, I guess.
correct.
So, last I visited was probably 7-8 years ago. I haven't been to the squadron sadly after that because of various constraints.
So, we created three very special pieces of this first day cover, which were the albums. And we do not retain any copy of that album with anyone. All three are in the National Defense Academy. One is in the Commandant's office, and two of them, through Commandant, were gifted to the NDA library.
Okay.
So why we did that was that they were very rare. Those albums were very, very rare. Three of them. We didn't want that somebody should feel that only one person has got. So all the three were sent to the National Defense Academy and gifted to the Commandant. And some Commandant at that time, I think was, if I'm not mistaken, it was Air Marshal Randhawa. He was absolutely. He said, I felt so proud to be called the Colonel Commandant of Foxtrot. So,
Wow.
So that's the history that we have behind this first day cover. And then that fridge magnet which which you have got today is again a very very rare piece. It was, I think, created in 2016. And there's a very special fox silhouette which is there on top of that.
Yes.
It's actually not visible in the screen because it is lying on a little side. But yes,
Bring it to the middle.
Yeah, you can bring it to the middle, more to the middle. Yes.
Like here.
Yeah, like here. And so the fox is actually looking from from left to right.
Okay.
So it's this was a kind of a symbol that we adopted at that time, and we have used this symbol in a couple of other places as far as. But it's a honor to host you, sir, and I'm getting my Millennial Yogi signed by you today.
Of course, that's very important.
And this is that special book which we the copy which we traveled, maybe or rather made it travel.
You have to see what is there. People should see this. This is what Arun has taken this book across the whole of Ladakh, and we have all been on the journey with the book. And the first time that I'm meeting Arun, I'm also meeting this book again, which is traveled more than me along the Ladakh trip. So Arun, thanks for allowing me to write in this, and I will write it as a Foxy so that it is special for the Foxtrot Squadron also.
You are writing with a very, very special pen, sir.
Okay.
So this pen was gifted to me by my longest serving friend. I think we are friends for last 49 or 50 years now. Yeah, I think our friendship is touching close to 50. We got admitted in the school on the same day, and then we both went on to join the National Defense Academy. He passed out from Kilo Squadron with the 80th course, and I passed out from Fox Squadron with the 81st course, though I joined the 80th course. And this pen was gifted to me by him on our 20th wedding anniversary.
Okay.
So he took it out from his pocket and put it in my pocket. So I retained this pen, and it is, I think in quite an okay or working shape.
It's fantastic. And in envy after writing with a nib pen after years.
Yes. This is a Mont Blanc, and this stays with me wherever I go. So his name is Major Satyapal Sindhu. He's Kilo 80 and an EME officer. He's a very successful entrepreneur now, an industrialist. So my book is now getting signed, I think. So great time.
Yes.
Sir and I are having for the first time that we are meeting, and
I'm dating it today.
Yeah. So the promise to you, sir, is that this year, if I get a chance to go to Umlingla, we will carry all your books, and we will keep a copy of each one of those books I think there's a cafe in Umlingla. So, and if you give me more, I will leave it on all the passes that I leave, that I kind of touch on this journey.
So since here there's a message, and the standard signature is the one that the author's signature is here. So this is for you. So I'll write it your name here again.
Absolutely. So that is how we are creating this video today of the interaction with the Millennial Yogi himself, wearing the fox colors.
Dear Arun, love and
Marvelous.
blessings, Deepam Chatterjee.
Marvelous.
This book was dedicated to my parents, though it's technically my second book. The first book was to my guru, The second to my parents. The third is to my sister and her husband. So similarly,
Wonderful.
here's the book. Thank you. What a lovely book. And thank you for the Foxies for giving me this beautiful
Yeah.
gift too. So Arun, now I'll have to have a little conversation with you about, let's say, our common squadron, and let's share some memories, something unique which you would like to share with us about your time. By the way, let me tell you one thing. I am probably one of the few Foxies, including you, who have spent full 3 years in Foxtrot.
Correct.
Isn't it? Having lost a term, we
Yeah.
gained 6 extra months in Foxtrot. So I think we are a rare breed who actually spent full 3 years in Foxtrot.
Well, I also spent 3 years like you, sir,
Yeah,
and
that's why.
we were fortunate to have replaced your course. So I still remember, the old nominal rolls of 75th course with CSM Janu's name, which
Yeah.
was traced, and we used to read those names. So I think my best memory of Fox Squadron was the first day that I entered in the squadron, and the first gentleman that I met uh, on that day one was Brigadier Habib Rahman.
Oh.
And Habib sir was sitting right, on the second or the third stair in the ground floor central lobby, and there was a very dim bulb, which was lit in the GFCL in those days, and he was wearing a gown, and he was there, and so when I reached, he asked me my name, and when I told him my name, he just shook my hand and he said that you're carrying a very famous name with you, because obviously, Second Lieutenant Arun Khetarpal's photograph was right there, and
Right.
and then that rut of Fox Squadron started, because I was allotted the first floor central lobby announcement cabin. That that cabin used to be ransacked, by every now and then. Half of the guys I didn't know. I think within 48 hours of my, whatever kit I got in the academy, everything was carried on. And I remember in the first week itself, at about, I think, midnight or maybe after that, I just kind of lied down on the bed, and I was, drifting in and out of sleep, and I saw one white uniform standing on top of me, and it turned out to be the deputy commandant, and he saw the, the ashen state of my room, where there was no mosquito net. I was having a torn blanket, and so he said, "This guy would have joined when?" So, the duty officer, he said, "Sir, he's a second termer, would have joined about 3 or 4 days ago." He said, "But what? Where is his kit?" So then, they both looked at each other, and it was Rear Admiral N. Anand. So,
Oh, yes, sir.
and I think he was on his way out. He was getting, transferred out, but he passed certain instructions. And the next gentleman who walks into my room was Cadet Bart, Fox 76, HKS Bath, now
Yeah.
Brigadier Bath, and I had a wonderful time with Brigadier Bath when he was colonel, and at the staff college when I was doing the staff course. And then Bart sir comes in, and actually he came to take something, but when he saw my cabin, he said, "Who has done this?" So I said, "Sir, I don't know. I mean, I hardly know who are the guys who have, who are the perpetrators. No CCTV cameras to pick up kaun le gaya, kaun nahi." But then he passed some instructions. But anyway, nothing changed. My state remained the same, and I kept on announcing.
Your cabin is pretty well known from our course. Samir Saxena.
Okay.
He used to be in that cabin, and I'm pretty sure you know him very well.
I know him very
from
well.
Navy.
So I think when he sees this video, he'll. So
And with him was Sandeep Narad, who's
Acha, okay.
also a general now.
Very nice.
So that was an interesting cabin.
Yeah.
Then the next, we used to have 21 div there.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think it was
yeah,
there.
yeah. In our time, it was 22.
Okay, so it was 21 div, and we used to have the army DS at that
Yeah.
time.
Ah.
Initially, there was one Captain Deepam who
Hmm.
was there at our time, and then came Captain, later Major Lieutenant General Shaukin Chauhan,
Yes, yes.
and in between was one that time Captain KV Kuber.
Yeah,
who
he's very
later
much
on-
there.
Yes,
He's
also
in
here.
Gurgaon.
Yes. His father-in-law,
Was the
Dr.
president.
Padmanabhan, and
Was
I am in touch every single day, even now.
Yeah. Very nice.
So he's also in Gurgaon. by
Yeah,
the
he's
way.
in Gurgaon. I keep
Yeah.
dropping into him.
Yeah. So They are wonderful people again, and I have actually fantastic memories. Though people will say whatever about NDA's initial stages, I had great time in the second term.
Yeah.
Because the whole sixth term became my palace, entire sixth term, because of dear Ashok Vasudevan Nair. Thank you, Ashok. And then came my own DCC Vipul Segan, who then later on when I joined Signals, he was the one in whose room I spent my entire acclimatization in Leh. So we became very close. He's now in Dehradun. But second term became like your lordship Deepam Chatterjee. Then third term became special for me because the guys who were fifth termers were all the ones who decided to gun for me after that. Anurag sir, you might be listening now. That was a great time that you all gave me. Thank you. But then I lost third term after that, and I repeated the third term and joined 75th course. And I think it's been a fantastic journey throughout that time. And my most interesting memories from Foxtrot, one is when the Haldar sisters dropped into my cabin. And Mahanto Panging, who later on became the BCC and now is there in Northeast, he was doing the seventh heaven to look into my cabin, like climbing up on those wires to look inside. Of course, it was, I don't think there was anything hanky-panky going on. I don't know. I don't remember. That was one of the memories that was interesting. And then there was, I think almost all throughout I was on the ground floor. For what reason, I don't know. You know, my cabin was on that line of the CSM's cabin. I think it was the fourth or fifth, just before the opposite of the SCC understudy cabin. Yeah. That's like the opposite one. And somehow I had this thing, I still feel very hot. तो मैं नीचे का वो लकड़ी का दरवाजा खोल के रखता था उसका, you know, those things. Yeah. And it was to look into the front of the squadron. I don't know what happened one night. This first हमारे squadron commander was Guha sir, whose famous stories you would have heard. Yes. But after that, the commandant, squadron commander came, was SK Singh. Yeah. It was it was always a Navy squad, so you know that all these officers you must have met later also. So one night I was sleeping in the cabin and suddenly I hear a knock on my window. And this is about midnight. And you know, I'm a light sleeper always. So I just jumped up, and I'm typically, you know, and then suddenly I see SK Singh standing on the window. And he says, I want to come inside. And I'm shivering because I'm not even in my gown and I'm sleeping. He said, get up, and he couldn't probably recognize who I was initially. But then he said, Chatterjee, yes sir. Get the door open and come in. So he climbed through that window and he left my cabin, and I don't know where he went, but I'm told that there was some session going on somewhere and he was probably going to catch some people. Okay. He could never catch anybody typically. That's the beauty of NDA, that nobody ever gets caught. And then he finally came back and got out of the same place. So that was a memory that I don't know. I thought it was a dream initially. कि ऐसा हो भी सकता है क्या? Is the squaddy is coming through your cabin into the squadron and then doing a trip in the night and going. I think that's a great idea of the National Defence Academy and the time that we spend there. Those kind of antics which both the cadets and those young officers, like if I now date myself and you date yourself, so you see, those were the people who had 3 years, 5 years, 8 years of service, but they were our role models, you know, they were our icons. Like I still even our sixth termers, when we were second termers, were our role models. We used to look up to them. We used to look up to them. They look like giants to us even today. So I remember on the left of my cabin was then cadet PAAR Sadiq and now a serving rear admiral. So his diktat to me was that wake me up at 2:30 in the night, and I would religiously go and wake him up at 2:30 in the night. They'll say wake me up after 10 minutes, wake me up after 5 minutes, wake me up after 7 minutes, and I would continue to do that. But maybe, you know, I think those orders and those habits have actually stood by us. When I joined the submarines, my first XO, his first words to us was that on a submarine, you're not supposed to sleep for more than 3 hours.
And it was it was, I think, maybe medically right also, because in a controlled environment, after some few days at sea, you would lose your sleep, because and I think that was that habit which I think Sadiq sir helped to generate. Maybe it stood by, and kind of, that's how we lived our lives. So some wonderful, great memories.
Those certain memories I think all of us have, like managing those bikes,
Valves.
chota chota,
Or carrying on those eats, and whatever, if 10
yes.
eats you have been able to carry, then you will finish them all, whether you need them or not, but you will finish all those eats. Or that chota sa butter ka, and how many breads we could kind of butter with that. So I think
Fantastic times, yeah, we've had. Yeah, I left very early after, as after the NDA IMA time, I went to Leh, and then I had a back injury, because of which subsequently I decided to quit the forge. And the journey has been very unique after that too. So I think you two have had a very unique journey, forge ke baad, or after your sojourn in the submarine, or whatever. So I think we carry so much of our squadron, so much of our NDA into that. So I guess you can also share something about that time, if you.
Well, I'm into my 10th year in the corporate world now, sir. This is my 4th job, and I think in all my jobs, I have taken a great pride in telling everyone that I'm actually retired, and I'm retired, and I carry my Navy legacy with me, because I think whenever somebody sees me, so it is not that they see me as an Arun Jyoti. They see me as a commander who served in the Navy, in the submarines, who proudly carries the entire. If I look at the whole package, whether it is my attire, whether it is my behavior, I still maintain the same haircut. I have not gone in for a French cut beard, or something of that nature. Yeah, generally try to maintain my military bearings, and so I think that has been a great advantage. On all my visiting cards, I have always used my rank. I have never kind of put my rank on one side, because that is the only thing probably which India has given to me, and I would like to live very proudly with that, and never without that. So wherever I go, I introduce myself in the same way. I still wear my medals with great pride, with those badges on my lapels on my coat, and I'm famous in the entire corporate sector, that I think I would have distributed what, about 300 odd lapels by now to various people, whether they were CEOs of companies, or my colleagues, or my foreign colleagues, who, when they land into India, I always believe in giving a small label pin to them, so that they can carry a good memory that they met a military veteran and who's serving their company. So I think that is one good thing which has helped me always.
I think you carry your values with you, and people emulate you when they see you, and they see how you conduct yourself. And it's very important that we, leave a memory, or a, warm feeling behind when we go. Whatever be that, I'm in a world which is very different from yours, in outside world, where I'm in the film industry and I'm a writer. However, there is something which they find different, because having been through NDA, having been through the army, also being a second generation in the forge, my father also being from the Delta Squadron 21st NDA, is it leaves you with something special,
Correct.
As there.
Yeah. So I think, and now this Fox Connect that we have, we started with 23 people in 2008 at Wellington, and I think the pioneers of people. Actually, the people who actually taught us those values were two Foxes in INS Shivaji, and that is obviously then Lieutenant Prasad Pade and then Lieutenant Sandeep Puri, both 73rd course, and they never let us pay the bar bill for first 6 months. If they saw us sitting in the bar, the bill was on them. So I think that is how, and then there was a senior Foxy there, 62nd course, Lieutenant Sabu John. He's now in the US, and we could drop into Sabu sir's house at any point of day or night, and the kitchen would always be open for us, and we would do the job. We would make the food, we would eat, and Puri sir would अपनी रोटी वोटी बेल के हमको खिलाएंगे. And that was the great time. And then when we came to Staff College, it was Brigadier M.J. Kumar, Fox 66, and Major General Jalaj Bhola, Fox 66 again, who really, inculcated that Fox spirit in us by organizing those fantastic Fox socials. Which, so when I called up, I think I called up MJ Sir on, if I'm not mistaken, on 20th or 21st of March after a very heady Fox social in Wellington. And I said, sir, अगले महीने हम लोग यहाँ से चले जाएंगे. So how do we, stay together? So if you permit, can I form a Fox group on the email? So that time the Google groups had just come in. He said, yeah, by all means, just do it. And that's how we started. From 23, today 1500 plus. And like you rightly said, I think 3700 odd Foxies worldwide.
Yes.
And we still have to catch up with a lot of them.
Yes, absolutely. Because from the first course to now 150th course.
Yeah, so it started with fifth course,
fifth course
to whatever.
Approximately say 20, 25, let's say 20, because you keep moving plus and minus.
I think this video is going to make us catch up with a lot of, when we put the link, and many of...
I think you must, all of us must meet together, and you should give the link at the bottom of the...
So I think this video will propel many to join.
And please send us more conversations to Foxies Talking. It will always be great to share experiences. And if you want one of us to talk to you,
of course,
Arun can talk to you, or I can talk to you for 15-20 minutes. We can have these conversations rather than, only sharing and forwarding stuff. It will always be great. So let's hope that we meet up and keep doing this constantly.
So meanwhile, while we were having this conversation, yes, so we ordered food and we used Zomato, and so our food is still 9 minutes away, so we still have time.
Okay, that's why you're watching that.
I was just trying to. If you miss that guy, then we are sitting on the 10th floor of DLF building 9B.
Please bring us some food.
So I think we can definitely catch up with a couple of more things about Fox. And
yes,
one thing which I learned in the Squadron and in the National Defence Academy was that patience is a very good virtue. Not all of us were physically in the same shape when we joined the NDA, and not all of us were fit enough to compete with each other. And I think the academy is not designed to bring everyone at par. But at the end of the third year, or when you pass out of the hallowed portals of the academy, and when you come out, then it is up to you how you want to carry on with your life, whether you your ethics, your conduct, your behavior, or how you want to maintain your whatever physical standards, or the way. And we all end up meeting with some kind of injury or the other in our military careers. I think we all have. I mean, I'm sitting with a couple of fractures in my back, 2 up and 2 down. And
more than you, of course, but there are enough. There are enough
dents. And but then I think
I feel that Foxtrot has always been known as the gentleman's squadron, and I think that officer and gentleman that we have, that bonhomie that we have developed, I think this is the only squadron which has such a vibrant group across all the squadrons that I have experienced through various other people. And somewhere I think that this ethos must continue in the squadron itself again. And when we were there, we were proud to be probably that gentleman feeling that you're always, you honored certain other values than what were, inculcated in the NDA. There was something special about Foxtrot that we had. People could, make out that there was something unique, something little more suave, something more cultured about us. I don't know if that was what the word could be. But then it was like somewhere we were considered that this is the way officers must conduct themselves. And if you see today, the results show almost every echelon of the services has Foxies at the top. And it is probably because we have conducted ourselves the way Foxtrot taught us rather than only NDA.
No, absolutely. So I think it's a great legacy that we carry. Yes. I remember the other day, somebody was telling me that Fox has produced the maximum number of 3-star generals.
Yes, and
And
there is something
yeah,
there,
so
you know, there's something to
yeah,
think about. Though
yeah,
everybody comes together. In
yeah,
the
yeah,
NDA, we are
absolutely,
all the same when we enter.
absolutely, yeah,
And when we pass out again, it's not that how many appointments came out, how many torches came out, how many real officers came out of there,
absolutely.
how many real gentlemen came out of there. That's more important, I guess.
So I think that this is a fantastic conversation that we had today
Yes.
on 6th of March 2023 at DLF Building 9B in Gurgaon, and pleasure to host you, and pleasure
Thank,
to give you a part of the Fox memorabilia, which we are sure would find a definitive place
of course, it will
in
be framed and kept in the
yeah.
very honored and cherished walls.
And let's now gorge on our food. The Zomato guy is calling up. Let's take the
Super.
call, and thank you.
Thank you so much,
Enjoy it,
guys.
Foxies.